Here, Alice Walker is a genius. Yeah. She really is a genius, Vanessa. And I just think with what's going on in the world right now, that part of what our assignment is to just be here and to be present and to witness the walk that Black women are taking right now on this planet, and to do it together collectively. So I'm so excited. I feel so blessed. I want to say, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever walk of life, whatever continent you're on, whatever you call yourself, I just want you to know that you are welcome here. I want you to know that we are Girl Trek, that we are a million Black women who walk for better health, and that we are cheering you on and walking by you, and that no one ever walks alone. You did not find this self-care school by accident, and you are welcome here, and this is a part of a chosen few who are about to walk into a new horizon and a new liberation and a new freedom for our people. Yeah. So I'm excited to welcome you. V, what's on your mind today?
What's on my mind is congratulating the women who took the first step. It took so much for a woman to choose herself, to choose this 30 minutes, to choose to say no to all of the other demands and requirements of the day, to choose for many women, because this is a new experience, to try something brand new that maybe doesn't, might seem weird or crazy. Like, what is this? I'm a walk, I'm a talk. What is Girl Trek? Just so what's on my mind is just like, just congratulating women. It's the single most powerful thing that we can do every single day is to choose ourselves and to choose time for ourselves. And Girl Trek was founded, I think, on that principle, Morgan, of just a radical 30 minutes and how that radical 30 minutes stacked up day over day could change your life. So just congratulations to every single woman who chose herself at this moment.
There are so many people who got a link from a friend who's a sister's keeper who's like, what is this? Who is these people? So Vanessa, who are we? Who are you? I can share more about myself, but who are you and what is Girl Trek? And can you talk to the people who are for the first time ever on self-care school trying to learn and orient themselves?
Yeah, I am Vanessa, the daughter of Annette, who is the daughter of Olympia, who's the daughter of Melvina, who was the daughter of Katie. I'm the daughter of the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington, born and bred, 206 in my house. West Coast for life. I am a lover of adventure and outdoors, and I'm a true sister and a loyal friend to folks. And I've known Morgan for more than 30 years now. We met way back in LA in college, and we were rocking long and hard before we even got into this game of co-founding Girl Trek together. And I'm also now a part of a national staff that is almost 30 deep of women who work alongside Morgan and I now to help bring to life. And Girl Trek is the largest health movement for Black women in the world. We are a powerful network of everyday periods of our communities who have decided that, like, not on our watch are we gonna die, not on our watch are our daughter's gonna die. And every single day we lace up our sneakers and we walk outside of our front doors, and it is a radical declaration for us that we won't be stopped, that we are here. So that's who I am. That's who I am. Who are you, Morgan?
Thank you for asking. I'm Morgan. I am daughter of Carol. I am who's the daughter of Letha, who is the daughter of, I haven't done this in a long time, Sarah. Oh, good Lord. Sarah? Who's my grandma? What's my grandmother name?
Your grandma,
Letha. Okay, Letha's grandma was, I'm going to get back to y'all. I'm going to come back next week strong with my daughter's
story. This is a good lesson, though, Morgan, because a lot of women don't even know that we have this tradition called Daughters of, where we try to name as far back in our maternal lineage as we can, or even not if it's your bloodline. A lot of women just name women who they are inspired by, but it's a powerful opportunity for you if you want to learn of the names of the women in your bloodline to really think who is the daughter of, who was the daughter of, as far back as you could go. So I feel like I could almost say yours for you, Morgan, but now I can't.
You can't. I know, because it's been so long. It's been a long week, y'all. Listen, I'm going to come back with my full Daughters of story. And part of what happened is my grandmother's mother had so much tragedy that I just learned about that I think psychically I've been trying to block that in my life. She died really prematurely from violence. And so, but I'm coming back and I'm going to name her. And as we talk about this, I invite you to name your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your great-great-grandma. Some of y'all might be able to go all the way back to the continent of Africa. Just name naming foremothers who survived so that you can be walking today. And then if you don't know your mother's name, that's all right. You can say, I am daughter of Harriet Tubman, daughter of Fannie Lou Hamer, daughter of Sojourner Truth, daughter of Betty Shabazz. You could just go on and on and on, which brings me to, if you are new to this is a walking podcast. So this is different than other podcasts. This is an opportunity to walk in solidarity with over 1 million Black women for 30 minutes a day. So all the science says that if you walk 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, that you can increase your life expectancy by 7 years. So Girl Trek's mission is to increase the life expectancy of Black women by 10 years, starting this year, in 10 years, ending in 2035. So that's our mission. It's called the 10 and 10 mission, to increase the life expectancy of Black women by 10 years in 10 years. Now, if you was good in arithmetic and back in the 4th, 5th grade, you like, well, 7 and 10, we missing some years, right?
Yeah, do the math.
Well, do the math.
And break it down.
Well, listen, if you're walking every day, 30 minutes, 5 days a week, you are already 7 years ahead. So that's what you should know. And we're going to keep you accountable to your commitment to yourself. And as you walk, we're going to talk about the other 3 years and simple things you can do. Everything from, I just learned that flossing can increase your life expectancy by 5 years. Sleeping 8 hours a day. I mean, so many things you can do. And we're going to tell you all the self-care secrets, all of the wisdom from our foremothers, all the secret sauce, the life hacks, and all the science. We're going to just go over it, and we're going to just teach it to one another. We are not experts. Please consult your doctor before you do this. Please do know that we are your sisters, and we are your sisters' keepers. So first of all, if you're not out walking, please lace up your sneakers, open your front door, feel the sunshine on your face. And even if you walk to the end of your driveway, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, I encourage you to get outside just by the end of this podcast today. Part of what we are doing here today, so this is your orientation, day one. Part of what we're doing is we are lifting up the names of our foremothers. So every single episode, you will hear a story of who we are walking for from Black history. You will also get the opportunity to earn a foremother badge. So every single week that you walk 30 minutes a day, 5 out of the 7 days. You just have to walk 5 out of the 7 days. Every week you do that, we give you a high five. We say, you walked 5 days this week, girl. High five. It's called a high five week. And every time you get a high five week, we give you a foremother badge. So think back when you used to be in Girl Scouts, or you wanted to be, but they didn't have it in your neighborhood.
We wanted to be, but we could, right. We wanted to be, y'all. Now we can. We can officially get us some buttons and some patches. And this is one of the things I'm most excited about. One, I love dressing like other people. So one of the best things about Girl Trek is that we got a uniform. Yeah, I do. Twin Day, that was me. So I'm excited about the badges, Morgan. I'm excited to earn them. I'm excited to think about moms and daughters earning them, or like sisters and cousins, or just like across families, people earning them. I'm excited to rock them. I'm excited that we're introducing something new to the culture. Like, it's really something new to and for the culture. And this is how legacies start to get built. And we sometimes don't know like where things actually started, but this is the foundation. So this is going to be the first class of women who even ever earned these badges, ever put them on a jacket or a backpack ever. So I'm just excited about it.
They're going to go down in history. I mean, we have some of you may know us from when we had the privilege of interviewing Angela Davis and Nikki Giovanni, and will forever be grateful for that honor. Literally. And rest in peace. Nikki Giovanni, who told us, walk together, children, and don't you get weary. So that is our call to action. That's what she said on that interview. But one of the things it reminds me of is Angela Davis, when she was locked up. One more thing. Some of you guys might know us from Black History Boot Camp, and we did an excellent episode on Angela Davis. And when she got locked up, they had these free Angela buttons. And I just imagine that mothers and daughters pass that kind of, these kind of tokens of our liberation and revolution on to each other, and that these badges will be a part of that legacy. So I'm excited about this, V. That's who I am. Okay, who am I? I am originally from Wichita, Kansas. So if you hear a little bit of country, that's what that is. But then I moved to California. So if you hear a little bit of Valley Girl, a little bit of Kendrick Lamar's girlfriend, that's me. That's me. And I just, I am just in my walk of life, trying to figure out. I mean, every day I'll be reading the Bible and then reading about Buddha, and that tells you almost everything you need to know about me. Like, I just am curious. I am loving. And, you know, it's interesting because I was like, my favorite memories from Girl Trek are two, Vanessa. They were like, not my favorite memories because I have a lot more, but the things that stand out. One is, well, three. We went to the White House to see Michelle Obama. Remember that?
Yes.
Oprah Winfrey had invited me to something, and then she had her arm around me. She's like, "Girl, I know you who you are," and I was like, "What? Say what?" So that was a highlight. I can't front. Shout out to Oprah. Thank you for that love, and thank you for touching my back when you knew I felt like an outsider in that room. I just really love when people fulfill your dreams for who they might be, and Oprah certainly did that. She was so supportive. But Vanessa, I have to tell you, when we went to that Church of God in Christ conference, and we stood up on that stage, my mom was so proud, okay? Yes. And I just felt like I have arrived. I don't have to do nothing else. So I'm really grateful for that. As we think about celebrity moments, I was thinking about how we manifested this years ago. Self-care school, Vanessa. Yep. And I remember when I wrote it on the paper. I specifically remember because we were trying to create a script because you were going down to Essence Festival. Yeah. I remember writing it on the paper like this, maybe we could just say this. And it was kind of out of the blue, self-care school. Yeah. And then you got you some media passes and then you went backstage. And then tell us what happened.
Look, I was back there, y'all, representing. First of all, I ran into Ayanna Van Zant right away, who told me she was a member to check her roles. And it just goes to show who was walking alongside of us. And it goes to show that every single Black woman, no matter what heights we've ascended to, we need sisterhood, we need community, we need support. So I'm so grateful that Girl Trek can be that for so many women. I talked to Queen Latifah. She was like, shout out to Self-Care School. She did a promo for us. Kofi Sarobi and his fine self.
Come on now.
Come on. Shout out to Remy Ma, Stacey Abrams. Yeah, it was like it was like such a good amalgamation, I guess, or a good diverse set of folks. And literally every person one of my favorite movie of Girl Trek is talking to people every day about Girl Trek. I'm not kidding. Like when I tell people or run into them or talk to them about it, like they're just so inspired. And I remember specifically so many people being inspired, and so many people, we specifically asked them, what were the self-care secrets? I specifically asked them, what were the self-care secrets that your mother passed down? And I remember that Queen Latifah said her mother passed down laughter. And and that matters because even over these 10 weeks, one of the things that I'm hoping that we do over these 10 weeks is dispel the myths that we don't have everything that we need to survive, or that we don't have access to the knowledge, or that we don't have a rich history of like knowledge and practice and things that have been good for us, because that's so false. And so much of what I think we've been taught today about popular medicine or and how to get well is about going outside of ourselves and outside of our communities. But just to remember that our mothers laughed and they hummed, and that there was science in that, and that there was healing in that, and that it was our bodies really connecting in a really powerful way. I'm excited to explore that and so many more things like that.
That's fantastic. All right, sisters, this is orientation week, and today we are devoting the episode to something that we call a self-care audit. A self-care audit is a real assessment of where you are, and we do this every couple of weeks or every couple of months just to make sure that we're taking good care of ourselves. It will be a series of questions, about 20 or so questions that we ask, and we will ask you to step forward or step back. So this is a moment to pause in your walk, find a safe space to pull to the side. If you're in the park, you can just pull to the side, and we will start to ground ourselves. If you're inside, I invite you outside. You can do it in your driveway, but we are about to begin the self-care audit. This score can change, or this audit can change month over month, or even sometimes week over week as we get more mindful about how we're treating ourselves. So don't go too hard on yourselves in this first round, but it's a good assessment, a good audit of where you are right now. My hope and prayer for all of us is that we will be in a much better place in 10 weeks together. So here it is. This exercise will last about 10 minutes. This is an activity of deep personal reflection. There's only 3 rules. One, for the next 10 minutes, we ask you just to remain silent in your own self-talk. So quiet down your self-criticism or the critic inside. Just turn her voice all the way down. You're good enough, and this is not judgment. And number 2, be totally honest with yourself. Totally honest. And number 3, if you're doing this in a group with your friends, maybe you're all walking together, just promise not to cast judgment on one another. Not even, sometimes we cast judgment with jokes or with looks or with sighs or with a teeth sucks, but we really want this to be a safe space. So those are the 3 rules. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready, Morgan, and let me say this is the perfect time right now to share this podcast, this walk and talk with your friends, family, somebody who you're like, ooh, they need to do this self-care audit, so that y'all can even debrief after this lesson and talk about like your own feelings, your own emotions, what you experience, and reflect together. This is the perfect opportunity and the perfect tool to share with as many people as possible.
Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Take a deep inhale. And let it out like V did. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We are here. We are here. All right. The first question. If you got more than 6 hours of sleep last night, take a step forward.
If you make it a point to eat breakfast at home every morning, take a step forward.
Human touch matters. If someone has greased your scalp or rubbed your back in the last week, take a step forward.
If you've taken a vacation in the last 6 months, take a giant leap forward.
If you did 30 minutes of exercise yesterday, take a step forward.
I'm going to go ahead and say, if y'all doing it right now, just go ahead and take that step forward. Be like, this is my 30 minutes. All right. If you carved out time to pray or meditate in the last 24 hours, take a step forward.
Oh, this next one. If you care for your children, your spouse, your partner, or your parents better than you care for yourself, take a step back.
If you gossip or talk critically about others when they are not around, be honest about this, by the way, take a big step back.
If you are in a romantic relationship now that does not serve you or light you up, take a step back.
If your anger regularly boils over with loved ones, if you crash out, y'all, one too many times, take a step back.
If you dislike your job, your marriage, or your lifestyle, take a step back.
If you have credit card debt, take a step back.
If you've had your annual pap smear or mammogram this year, take a step forward.
If you took time to cook a meal in the last 24 hours, take a step forward.
If you watched more than 3 hours of TV yesterday or scrolled on social media for more than 3 hours yesterday, take a step back.
If you've eaten a hearty serving of fresh roots or vegetables today, take a step forward.
If you have more than 5 good friends who you can send this to, take a step forward.
If you have told yourself that you are ugly or not good enough today, or talked critically about yourself at all, take a step back.
If you have safely ended an abusive relationship, take a proud step forward.
If you have ordered food from a drive-through window in the last 24 hours, I'm going to say in the last week. If you've ordered food from a drive-through window in the last week, take a step back.
That's me. If you regularly practice a personal hobby that you love, like painting or singing, that brings you great joy, take a step forward.
in the last month, this is me, y'all, if you've eaten yourself into a coma, maybe had a root beer float one or too many, we call that the itis. Take a step back.
If you smoke cigarettes or drink alcohol daily, take a step back.
This me too. If you have a fulfilling sex life, y'all, take a big step forward. Woo.
If you drank a soda or sugary drink today, take a step back.
All right. If you suffer from a preventable disease, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, high blood pressure, take a step back.
If you have reversed a chronic disease by eating better and exercising, take a step forward.
Think back to the last time you laughed so hard you cried or that your belly ached. And if it was this week, take a step forward.
Take a step back if you can't remember the last time you went out dancing. If you saved dancing at the church. Sorry. I thought about my sister. She was like, ooh, the saints don't dance now. But they do. My mama used to be shouting. Take a step back if you don't remember the last time you went out with your girls and had a good time. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, if you're actively looking for a life partner online, if you're getting dressed, to Morgan's point, if you're going out, find somebody maybe with your girls. If you're going on blind dates, take a big step forward.
All right, y'all, for the last question of the self-care audit. Take one giant step forward if you are committed to finishing self-care school and earning your Harriet Tubman badge and your golden shoelaces. Take a big step forward. Woohoo! I hope all of you took a step forward. I'm committed. And that's just a teaser. Listen, what's in store for us is incredible. I mean, classes start next Monday. We are going to have content that is everything from how to reset your body to how to have a healthy mind, how to heal your family, your finances, your home, get land, get political. I mean, every single week is just hard hitting around different things that you will learn to care for your body, care for your family, and care for your community. We have special guests that are coming on, co-host. We have incredible music. We're having guest DJs. Y'all, it's about to be so crunk for 30 minutes, right? And so, you will want to be a part of this. It's going to go down in history. Self-care school. The civil rights movement had freedom schools. We have self-care school. It's a moment, and we need this. So, Vanessa, I know that this is the beginning of orientation week. Can you tell everybody walking with us what orientation week is going to feel like?
Yes, absolutely. We all need an orientation week, y'all. Orientation week is the time, think about how it was in school. You went out and you got your peaches together, you got your school clothes together, you got everything that you the things where you put your papers inside. I call them peaches. I don't know what other people call them, but they always have the pictures. Yes, like a trapper keeper, but the ones that have the people playing basketball on them. I call them peaches. But yes, all those things is what orientation week is.
Remember we used to wrap up our books with paper bags?
Yes, that was the most important part of school for me, for the record. Yes, I would save up all the comic book sections of the newspaper so I could wrap mine perfectly in comic book section. So yes.
Oh, that's cute. All of our Gen Z are like, what?
I know. This is look. You can't cheat self-care school by Googling ChatGPT. I just want to let y'all know that you cannot advance for these 10 weeks. ChatGPT will not help you. It will not get out there and do your walks for you. So you have to do them for yourself. And for us, for this week, which will count, y'all, this is going to be 5 days of walking this week. And this week, you just did your 30 minutes. We're at the end of this call. And this was the self-care audit, day 1. Tomorrow, we're going to go over the life expectancy calculator, like all of the actual numbers and the things that we actually need to know to understand how this is going to be improving our life expectancy. On the 3rd day of orientation week, we're going to meet the homegirls, meet the teachers, meet the women from our community who are going to be joining Morgan and I along this 10-week journey to walk and talk with us. Then we're going to pack our bags. So how do I track self-care school? Where do I get my badges? All of the practical things that you need to know. And then we're going to end the week with our top 10, the best advice that we have gotten. I'm talking about from the heavy hitters because we've talked to some folks. I'm talking about Oprah. I'm talking about Ayanna Van Zandt. I'm talking about Barbara. Oh, can't say who it is. Okay, just know that we gonna bring in and pull from all of the great advice.
Doing a spoiler alert. You love a spoiler.
Sorry, spoiler alert. We are going to pull together all of the best advice that we have gotten over the years that have informed Self-Care School, and we're going to share it with you all as a pep rally to get us going before the first day of class.
All right, so we're going to set our intentions. And Vanessa, I'm curious to know what your intentions are for the week. And I encourage everyone listening to set their own intentions, not just for this week, but for the next 10 weeks together. What's your intentions for the next 10 weeks, Vanessa?
My intentions are to celebrate myself every single day that I actually show up, to just know that I did it, to celebrate myself, to feel really good about it, and to not try to go the extra mile beyond that, which is what I sometimes try to do, but just to know that the 30 minutes every single day that I give to Self-Care School is worthy of celebration. What about you?
Mine is, I'm going to keep it real simple, Vanessa. I'm going to try to keep a consistent time to walk. And I've already dedicated my walking. I lost my uncle, Uncle Benny, shout out to you. And I want to dedicate this to him. And so I just want to be consistent. I need a little bit more discipline in my life. And so I want to just walk at the same time every day. So that's my goal, is to, and for me, that's early in the morning, because I just feel, it feels magical to walk in the morning. So I really enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Morgan. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the first day Self-Care School. The doors are open and we are here. We're going to close out this conversation, this walk, with a beautiful original song that a homegirl in our community, a member, her name is Angela, did for us. It's the perfect song. It's called You Are Enough. If you're kind of holding anything in your body or your spirit from the self-care audit, from just what we talked about today, just remember that you are enough. Hold this energy inside of your body, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow.
We're listening to Morgan and Vanessa. They're the co-founders of Girl Trek. Girl Trek is the largest global health movement for Black women and girls. We are over 1 million strong, and the two people who you just heard talking, hey, how are you, Jacqueline? The two people who you just heard talking are the co-founders, and Girl Trek started with just them two. Just two women who got tired of seeing the women in their lives passing away from preventable chronic conditions. And so they put out a challenge to their friends, a 10-week challenge to their friends and their family to walk. Walking was the vehicle that was chosen because it's several reasons. So walking is one of those things that is more accessible to more people. That's one. Another, walking, it has been proven, scientifically, medically, biologically, to be one of the best things you can do for your body. Another, when we think about walking, when it comes to changing communities and changing systems, you're thinking about the civil rights movement, there was a lot of walking. And one of the mottos of Girl Trek is, when Black women walk, things change. And we know that. Even if it's just your mama walking from one room to the next because you did something you weren't supposed to do. But when Black women walk, things change. And so that's why walking was picked as that vehicle. So after they put out the 10-week challenge and the friends and family completed the challenge, they were like, okay, that was fun. What do we have? What's next? And then the movement started growing from there. It spread it out in the community that they were in. And then it went, across cities, it went across states, and now it's global. Girl Trek is actually a global movement. And I don't know how many of you all heard Vanessa, I love them. I love both of them. But, Vanessa was, dropping names as to who's going to be involved in this particular challenge. And so the challenge that is I'm just using challenge loosely. So just let me say that part, because it's not a challenge where you're going to lose something, you're only going to gain. But the current program that Girl Trek that we're in is called Self-Care School. Now, it started in April, but don't feel like you are behind. You're not behind, even if you just came in today. You heard them say you can start whenever. But I didn't think of bringing it to the Self-Care Suite until May. So, that's why we're at the place where we are. But Self-Care School is Monday through Friday. It's 30 minutes a day, Monday through Friday, of walking. And they encourage you to walk to the podcast that you just heard. So that episode was 30 minutes. Each one is 30 minutes, and they want you to walk while you're listening to that. Now, if you're at work, of course you can listen to it. Now, an early riser. So sometimes I'm catching the day before, or I'm just walking and then I'll catch up on the current day because I'm out early. And I don't catch it live all the time. So you can totally do that. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I hope you can join. I'll give you the website in a minute. So, and also, so like last week, because I was traveling the week before. So last week I ended up, just doubling up. So I completed 2 weeks in 1 week. So I just did the 2 30-minute walks, which turned out to be an hour, so that I can catch up and be, current. But if I didn't, I'm still going to go. I'm still going to get out and walk. It's just encouraging you to keep moving forward, to keep walking towards your healthiest, most fulfilled life. If you heard Morgan is one of the co-founders. She said she just want to be consistent. She want to pick one time that she's going to stick to, because that's what she struggles with, consistency. So it's all about taking those baby steps, but keep moving forward. And then the audit, so you do your best. You're in the Pilates studio from 6 to 10 each week. Yeah. So for me, and I'm up early. So I'm up and I'm out early, and I actually teach at 6 a.m. So sometimes I got to walk at 4. Sometimes I have to walk at 5, so I do it, whenever I can. I'm committed, to completing this particular, I don't even want to call it campaign. This is this particular space that we're in now, and it's called Self-Care School. So you want to go to myselfcareschool.org. And if you hit like the top button, it says access the classroom, you'll be able to see everything. Here in the self-care suite, we're only meeting on Sundays at 3 p.m., but I'm bringing self-care school here. Why? Because it's already been invented. There's a whole curriculum. There's no need for me to try and figure out what we're going to do in the self-care suite. We're going to have 10 weeks worth of things that we can do, because we're doing this at least until December. So I wanted to bring it here because some people have never heard of Girl Trek. Some people need that extra community, that extra support. And again, like I said in the beginning, I committed to this. I got to say this for myself too. I committed to do, because Sundays are my sacred days, and it's not a struggle, at least at this point, because it ain't really that warm outside. But baby, when it gets warm outside, this might become a little bit challenging to me. But like I told you all, we might be on the beach somewhere, we might be in a hammock somewhere. But I made the commitment. I made the commitment in January that I'm going to open up this space Sundays at 3 p.m. so that if you don't have any other day, any other time that you are committed to your self-care, you got this. I'm going to hold that space. So I'm going to stick to my word. I mean, I'm not flaky. I'm not like that. I'm going to stick to it. But like I said, we may come live from the self-care suite on my bike. Y'all may be seeing the Chicago lakefront. Hey, it may happen that way. Thank you so much for my flowers while I'm here. So we're gonna stay committed to it. So it'll be the first 30 minutes of this particular live. It's your motivation to walk your pups after you get home from the studio each day. Okay. So then, Jacqueline, then you would actually be able to. I think it may be up by noon on that same day, but if not. If you start myselfcareschool.org, just go back to 0. Go back to week 0, the orientation. And the reason why I'm going to discourage anyone from just jumping ahead and starting on Monday to whatever Monday tomorrow is, the 25th, 26th, instead of jumping ahead to get to that because you want to be, going with the rest of the class. If you heard anything they just said, this is very strategic. There's a whole curriculum that has been laid out. So if you skip over the first 6 weeks to just jump to be on that date, you're going to miss so much. Take your time, like a Baptist pastor. Take your time and get engulfed in, immerse yourself in the lessons that are being learned in self-care school. And there are life-saving strategies, life-saving techniques that we're learning in self-care school. So I'm going to encourage you, to do it. So even if you say, all right, well, I'm going to catch up and I'll do my extra walks, and then you come back here on Sundays, it'll just be a review for you. I never get tired of listening to them speak. I mean, I never get tired of learning things. Like Morgan said, one day she's reading the Bible, the next day she might be learning about Buddha. Like, she like learning, right? She just like learning. So that's me. I mean, I'm gonna continue to learn. And again, like I said, I'm gonna bring it into this space with us here because there are so many people who don't know about it. And think about it. You got 1 million, I think it's 1.4 or 1.6 of us, over 1 million Black women holding you down. Come on now. That's support. That's a community. So you're never walking alone. Even if you physically find yourself in the space where it's just you there, Girl Trek has a care line. You can contact the care line. If you're on other social media apps, I don't think it's on the top, but if you're on other social media apps, the different cities to join, okay. So Jacqueline, you would be an ally. And as long as you understand how the space was created, why the space was created, you would be an ally. And I'm hoping that that's making sense, because the movement was created for Black women and girls. But we got allies. You got to know about that, because there's some doors that we can't get in. There's some doors that we can't get in without allies. So we welcome allies as long as you understand. And we have some of the most supportive allies that's been with us for years, some since the very, very beginning. So I'm hoping, let me know if that makes sense, Jacqueline, if that's making sense. So we ain't turning down no support now. We ain't turning down no support. And so let me know if that's making sense, Jacqueline. And then the other part to that, statistically, so let me know. Okay, Jacqueline, I hope your answer is coming up. So statistically, reasons that we don't have everyone necessarily accounted for in the movement, because we want to get the statistics of Black women, because that's the audacious goal that we have now, is to increase the life expectancy of, okay, come on, work with me then, Jacqueline. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, we want to get statistics of Black women, what's happening with Black women, because the goal is to increase the life expectancy of Black women by 10 years in 10 years. And so if we have everybody else's data, in our surveys, or, reports or studies or whatever, then it's diluted. It's not including Black women. But allies, baby, yes, we need them. I mean, if you've been around, if you know anything about our history, especially in this country, there are some doors that we are not getting in without an ally. I mean, that's just how it is. That's this country that we're living in. It's really the world that we're living in. We need our allies. So yes, we definitely welcome you as an ally. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for agreeing to be an ally. Canadian who moved to the South a decade ago, 100%. Okay. Thank you so much. Now, Girl Trek just bought Dr. King's office in Montgomery. So yeah, I don't know what part of the South that you're in, but yeah, Girl Trek just bought Dr. King's office in Montgomery. So yeah, Freedom Hall. So if you're anywhere near Montgomery, Alabama, you can go and visit Girl Trek. Yeah, that was an exciting thing. That was definitely an exciting thing. So yeah, it's definitely amazing. Definitely amazing. So that's Self-Care School. If you want to learn more about Girl Trek, go to Girl Trek, GIRLTREK.org. That's the movement. But what we're in now is Self-Care School. And you heard, what did Vanessa call the thing? A peachy. She was talking about the Trapper Keeper, the folder. So, it's a school. Like, we are really, really in school, and we're learning so much. So again, we'll be here. You live in Arkansas, but grew up at the end of the undergrad. Oh, did you? Oh my God. I want to do that, the Harriet Tubman event that they have coming from Michigan up to Canada. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, that's exciting, Jacqueline. So you know what? On the My Self-Care School, there's a tab on there where you can actually leave comments, and Girl Trek pulls comments from that to use in the podcast to let people know about how other people are relating to Self-Care School. So yeah, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. If you want to, put that on there and let them know, you're an ally, you grew up in that. That is so exciting. That is so exciting. So yeah, so that's what we're doing here. And again, like I said, sometimes I'm going to be out walking. Sometimes I may be in my hammock. But what I do want to do is I took some notes on what they were talking about. So when we're talking about our self-care, and then starting from the point where Morgan and Vanessa were starting from, if you weren't there early on when they were talking about Nikki Giovanni, and part of what they're holding on to from the words that she gave to Girl Trek was walk together, children, and don't get weary. That's about building community. We can do a lot of stuff. We can do a lot of things by ourselves. I'm a solo trekker. I do a lot of things, by myself. But when it comes to making global impacts, that's a little bit difficult to do if you're by yourself. For the information, you have a 4 p.m. meeting. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the gifts. So yeah, so if we're talking about moving this thing, and making sure that it continues to grow globally, we need community for that. We definitely need community for that. And they also asked about what self-care secrets did your mother pass down? So I was like, okay, let me put that down there. Let me put that down there. So what self-care secrets did your mother or whoever raised you, like women that raised you, because it could have been an aunt, it could have been a grandmother, it could have been a godmother, it could have been a teacher, just women who were in your life when you were younger that passed something to you about self-care, even if they didn't use those words. I mean, I'm a 60s baby raised in the 70s and 80s. So that word was not used. At least I don't remember anybody saying, well, this is what you do for self-care. But there were some things that were passed down from, my mom, from my aunts, from teachers, from, biological aunts and then my aunties, right? So, we got them aunties and then we got the biological aunties. Yeah, those, if you know what I'm talking about. So we had different things that were passed down, to us, that there are some habits that we still do like today, right? One of my aunts, well, this is what I'll say about my mother. So my mother was big on your nails matching your toes. Like whatever nail polish, like if you don't have nail polish on your nails, don't put it on your toes. If you got pink on your nails, pink should be on your toes. If you got red, but don't be mixing and matching and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, she passed on, but if she saw all them different colors the people be doing now, she'd be like, oh, Lord, they be having different color nails. But that was one of her things, and then she was not a big makeup person. She didn't like a lot of, she would wear some, but it was always neutral colors. Like, I don't ever remember seeing her in like red lipstick. Like she would have if y'all know anything about Avon from the 70s, Cherry Jubilee. I remember that Cherry Jubilee. Cherry Jubilee was more of a burgundy maroon color. It wasn't a bright red, but she was more of a neutral color, when it came to things that she would wear. But she would wear, a lot of makeup, so she would always, and then talking about wash the cracks, wash the crevices. So those were things that I got from her. I had one aunt that was real big on brushing your hair. She has such beautiful, beautiful hair. It was like, always brush your hair. Like brush your hair so that it'll stay on your head. Like that was like one of the things, like brush your hair. I mean, even though your hair sheds when you brush, but the more you brush your hair, but that was about stimulating your scalp. Now, did she say that? No, I learned that later on, in years, thinking about biology and chemistry and that kind of stuff, that you are stimulating, your hair follicles with the brush, because she was like, you got to get in there. You got to make sure you section it off and make sure, you brush. So I thought that was really good that they asked like what self-care secrets, were you passed down. And don't be ashy. That was all of the black women in my life. Don't be coming over here walking out ashy. Don't do that. You gonna put something on you somewhere, you are not gonna be ashy. And if you ain't got no lotion, you got some Vaseline. If you ain't got that, you about to get something that was on the stove. You gonna put some cooking oil on your body. You gonna get something, but you would not be ashy. Ashy is what you're not gonna be. With the women that was in my life, you are not about to be around here ashy or dry. Like that's just, you're not about to do that. So those were, I don't necessarily call them self-care secrets, but that's what Morgan and Vanessa were saying. Like, what were the things that were passed down to you? So, I want you all to share that. Like, what did you get from the women in your life, whether it was your mom, whether it was your aunt, your grandmother, or the aunties, on the block, in the neighborhood? What sorts of things did you learn from them that you're still using today, for your self-care? Oh, and don't be washing your face with the same towel you don't wash your body with. Yeah. How many people learn that? Like you supposed to have a face towel and then you got a wash rag. It was called a wash rag when I was younger. So you got a face towel and you got a wash rag. So who knows about that? Who knows about face towel and wash rag? But however you identify it, one is not used for both of the things. So if y'all know that, let me know if y'all remember that, or what was it called when you were younger? What did the people in your life, well, in this particular case, the women in your life, call that? Yes, they're different. Yes, they are. And that was before the loofahs and the body sponges. They are different. But being on this app, I found out that a lot of people didn't know that. Like a lot of people didn't know that you should have two. Like you don't. And if you only have one, wash your face with your hands and your body with the wash rag. But you don't be where you didn't clean some cracks and crevices. Don't put that on your face. Don't put that on your face. But I'm just saying, but is there anybody else, like, is that how you learned it? Like, you have a face towel and you have a wash rag. Different, see? Yep. Different colors so you don't get confused. Yes. Different colors. So anybody else, like, did you have two different or did you just use the one? And it's not about judging. This is one of those self-care, they call them self-care secrets. I'm just using that word for what Morgan and Vanessa said, but there were certain things that, that you, like, I just grew up thinking that everybody did. I didn't know, because, when you're a kid and that's, you're growing up around people, but when you get older and you find out, like, remind me not to, I'm just saying, but different people have, different habits. Always cleaning your ears and clean your navel. Don't walk around with no musty navel. Don't walk around with no must. So we little kids going around digging in our navel trying to see if it's stink, to make sure you gotta get in there, you gotta clean your navel. Like, you got an Audi, it's a little different. You can clean it more, but if you got an Innie, you gotta get in there. You gotta get in there and actually clean your navel, because it can get, it can get in behind your ear, and yeah. So if anybody else has anything else, so those are some of mine. I'm trying to think of something else. So the face towel, the wash rag, the navel, don't be ashy, brushing your hair, nails matching. What else? I don't know. Those are ones that just came. And now this is my question. What is your self-care legacy that you would leave? Like, so what would be things that either just younger people that are coming up behind you, whether they're your biological children or not, or your nieces or your nephews, like, what would you pass on to them as some things that you learned, as you grew up, as you became an adult? Like, what would be those sorts of things, to make sure that they're taking care of themselves? Now, one that I want to pass on is rest. Learn how to rest. As kids, it was a challenge. So your grandmother always told us to have lipstick on to leave the house, and oh, you had one of them grandmamas. Did she have hair? Listen, always have the hair done. Yeah. Like, you better have that lipstick on. Don't be. Yeah, ours was just don't be ashy. You gonna put some Vaseline or something on your lips, like you gonna have some kind of shine. Like, we could wear that. You can use chapstick, but if you want a little shine, yeah. One of my friends' grandmother, she would always wear red nail polish and red lipstick up until she passed away, and she was like in her 90s when she passed away. She kept her hair stayed laid, but she wore red nail polish and red lipstick. Oh, you wore pearls. Oh my God. Oh, your grandmother was that girl. That girl. You wearing pearls as a little kid? Oh my God. So yeah, but I bet you got some valuable things about her. From her, about how to carry yourself. That puts you on a whole nother level. That definitely puts you on a whole nother level. I appreciate those lessons, those things. Oh, one of my, it was my gym teacher. So I would say this is one of our, the female mentors. She said, if you ever wear white, it should be white. If you got on something white, it should be white. Like, it should look like you work at the Board of Health. You from the Board of Health. If you wearing white, it should be white. And that was just the thing for me. Like, I'm going to figure out whatever it is. If it's supposed to be white and it ain't white, you shouldn't be wearing it. She was real big on that. We would have inspections of our gym uniforms, and it was time, if you had on white socks, your socks need to be white. But she also, oh my gosh, she poured into children so much. She had an office that was like a store, like a clothing store. So it wasn't about her embarrassing anybody. If your stuff wasn't right, she gonna send you over there to the little storage room. It was like a little storage room next to her office. And you getting some socks, you getting some underwear, you getting a shirt. Like, she gonna make sure that you look good. Like, her goal wasn't to embarrass anybody so you can fail inspection. It was for everybody to pass inspection. So yeah, she was real good with that. That was our gym teacher. Let's see. Oh, what's holding you back from pursuing your goals when it comes to your wellness? So what is holding you back? Or if there's anything holding you back from pursuing your wellness goals. So like what Morgan said, hers is time, is being consistent, getting that same time. And I know we can get, caught up in, the life, when life starts lifing. So for me, but I had to start this, not my children were small, because I had them back to back. So, like between 4 and 6, I got to get whatever I need to get done. So that was my time. So let me get this stuff done now before I have to get up and get them moving and, doing things with them. So for me, that worked for me to get over that. So now, weather, that's what I'm going to say. That's my challenge. that would, oh Lord. I mean, I muscled through some of it, but then some of it, I'm like, I'm just gonna be in the house doing this. So you would agree to time also, but you have kids. It's hard. Yeah, mine are a year and 3 days apart, child. So it was like having twins. It was like having twins. I call them a tag team to this day because they didn't give me a break. They didn't give me. It was like one to do something, the other to do something. And then I had, and my son, child, it was all kind of stuff in the morning with him. When it was time for him to go to school, it was all, child, from the socks hurting his toe to he don't want to wear clip on, he want to wear regular tie, and because they wore uniforms, you know, and when the first school they were in, and child, he didn't want the brown belt, he wanted the black belt, and if he got on black shoes, and then he wanted to wear the blue belt. I mean, it was just so much. It was so much. He didn't want oatmeal, he wanted grits. Even though he asked for oatmeal, he meant to say grit. It was a lot. It was a lot. So yeah, I get it. You know, when it comes to trying to get kids together. But what I had to start doing, especially when my children were smaller, I would have them. That was my Billy Blanks days. Billy Blanks, shout out to Billy Blanks. Billy Blanks kept me in top shape. But I would just have them like, it's Tae-Bo time. Like, we got to do some Tae-Bo. And that was a part of their routine. Like, especially if I didn't get a chance to get it in earlier, or we doing this, you get in the tub and you going to bed. So I had to incorporate them into the exercise. Kids work and chronic illness. Yeah. So pace yourself. That's all I'll say. Pace yourself. And if you heard Morgan and Vanessa talking, it's just about you being able to pour into yourself and making that commitment to pour into yourself. So if you don't have the 30 minutes, and this is what I say, if you don't have a solid 30 minutes where you can pour into yourself, break it in half, do 15 and 15. Even if it's 15 minutes in the morning, 15 in the afternoon. If you don't have a solid 15, break it into thirds, 10 and 10. However you need to do it, but to make sure that you are able to say, on this day, I at least got in 30 minutes. So you have to think about in 24 hours, and we're going to count because your rest is a part of your self-care as well. But in 24 hours, if you don't have 30 minutes, that's a high stress situation. It is a high stress situation that you are in, and it's your body keeps the score, right? So your body has trouble, or your body has challenges trying to keep you in that homeostasis so that you can breathe better, so you can move better, so you can sleep better. But it's hard to do that if you're constantly on 10. So you're always pacing yourself and doing what you can. Yep. And it might be a 30-minute break. Listen, breathing is the most important thing you ever do in your life. So Jacqueline, I don't know if you've ever seen any of our lives, but before I start my Pilates classes, we breathe. That's what look at that. We breathe. Breathing is the most important thing that you're ever going to do. And that is work. That is work. To learn mindful breathing, to learn controlled breathing techniques, that is work. That could actually be your self-care. I think a lot of times we get caught up in thinking self-care has to be, a massage, or it has to be Pilates master training. Come on, listen. So that's a principle right there. That's a principle, right? We're going to breathe, and we don't do nothing else. We're going to breathe. We're going to make sure that we understand, just like Mr. Pilates said. Look, here's my gap right here. I got to let y'all know this is what we do. This is what we do over here. But yeah, if you do nothing else, he said your lungs are a breeding ground for all sorts of icky, yucky things that can go on. 23 years on the job. Come on now. Listen, master trainer indeed. So we're talking about cleansing the lungs. Breath work is an actual workout when you are doing it for that purpose. So if your concentration is to do your breath work, you are stillness, you're trying to be better with still. Yeah. A lot of people, Crystal, with stillness feel like I should be doing something. That's just how our brains operate. And then we're here. Let me blink. We over here in America, y'all. I'm letting y'all know we need help. But yeah. But I mean, even the world is moving fast, but the way our society is like you always got to be doing something. You always have to be moving. When I first started teaching Pilates, because I was, doing group fitness first, but when I first started teaching Pilates, I would actually have people to turn their phones off. Baby, you would think I told them to go and smack Jesus. I mean, turn your phone. Yeah, just to see if you can turn your phone off. Like, can you turn your phone off? Not put it on silence, not put it on vibrate. And then some people had the lights that would flash, but just see if you can pour into yourself enough that you can disconnect from that, to have you to understand that sometimes you actually have to do that. And being still is actually active, right? Even though you're not moving, you may not be physically moving, but you got to be mindful to be still. And I'm hoping that's making sense, Crystal. You have to be mindful that, yeah, this is my time that I'm going to be still. And it's such, oh my God, it's such a beautiful thing when you learn it. It is difficult for 5 minutes, for, 10 minutes. It can be difficult. It can be very difficult, especially if you're not used to it, or if you're constantly, with, somebody in this ear, somebody in that ear, and wanting something or needing something from you. But yeah, but I'm sending you all of the good energy that you need so that you'll be able to get into that space where you can at least do a set amount of time, whatever your goal is, a set amount of time of being still. And being still is not doing nothing. And I want people to understand that. And breathing is doing a lot. It's doing a whole lot for your body. So yeah, we're going to breathe and we're going to sit still. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. What's my other note? Oh, community. They talked about building community and having that support to succeed. That's where the whole 1.6 million women will come from in Girl Trek as that community. But even if you're not a part of Girl Trek, if you're a part of any other community, finding your place or finding your space or finding some level of belonging in a community helps out a lot. Even if you don't stay with the community every day for what you're doing, the community is there. And I'm hoping that makes sense. I know I'm not with them today, we're not walking together, we're not running together, whatever, we're not biking together, but I know I got my crew. So that's what we want to know. That even if you decided that you that solo, you that renegade, because sometimes that be me, but I know I got my crew. I know I have my crew if I decide I'm going to go in and do something. And then sometimes I'm intentional. I'm not trying to bring the crew along. It depends on what it is that, I want to do. And it's not that I don't like my crew. It's not that I don't love my crew, because I do, but sometimes I need that space where I'm not in the crew, but I still belong to the crew. And I'm hoping that makes sense. So that's what is the African proverb that if you want to go fast, go alone, you want to go far, go with the crew, go with the group. Some of the crew, go with the group, right? So if you want to go far, you want to go with the group, because you can do so much more in community. And then internal resources. This is one of the things that I teach, because I also work with community mental health workers, community health workers, and we talk about internal resources, because they are a source or a resource for people in the community to come and to get things from them. But then what do you have on your own? What do you have that belongs to you? Now, Jacqueline brought up one, that's your breath. That's definitely an internal resource, right? Rest. Crystal, that's another one. Being still. Because being still, you can rest. You can rest without going to sleep. Now, sleep definitely is essential. I'm not saying don't sleep. But if you are restless or if you don't get good quality sleep, practicing mindful breathing, practicing stillness can help you get rest even if you are not sleeping. And I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm not saying adapt that lifestyle, but some people, depending on where your hormones are, depending on, what part of life you're in, it's a lot of sleepless nights. But what we do as humans, thinking if I'm up, I should be doing something, right? If I'm up, I should be doing something. Not necessarily. Now, I don't lay for long hours. I think people who can lay in the bed for 12 hours and 10 hours, I think y'all are magic. I really do. I think you're magic. I think you're phenomenal, because I've been trying to figure out how to do that. Because my body signals the bed and we out of here. We going to sleep. I don't want no TV on. I don't want no light on. I don't want, I don't need none of that. The bed is for sleeping. Oh, now that I'm saying this, that's one of the it wasn't a self-care secret, but that's one of the habits that I learned growing up. Your bed is for sleeping, right? You go in there, you get in the bed, you go to sleep. When you wake up, man, and on Saturday mornings, we would have to pull the cover up and just kind of, if your eye peeked like that, she knew you was up. Get up. Saturday was, anybody know? If you was raised, in the 60s and 70s, that was American Bandstand, that was Soul Train, you talking about Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire, Al Green, you cleaning up with your pine saw, you cleaning up. That Saturday morning, you get up, and even if you had your pajamas on, you not gonna keep them same pajamas on that you were in the bed. You're gonna get up, you're gonna wash up, you can put on some fresh pajamas, but not the ones you stayed in the bed all night. And definitely don't go in the kitchen if you ain't washed nothing. What you doing in here? Yeah, these memories are coming back. This is hilarious. But so for me, my body, but see, that's how my body was trained as a kid. When you lay down, you go to sleep. That's what That's what the bed is for. But I think it's amazing. And I'm not saying don't lay down. Lay down. If you can rest, I do think it's amazing for people who say, yes, you have to put clothes on every day, girl. Yes. School clothes, outside clothes, church clothes. Like, how many sets of clothes do I have? Like, yep, don't. And now that, don't sit on the bed with no street clothes. Why? Like, why would you do that? First of all, don't have anybody sitting on your bed. Your little raggedy friends. And we had like body pillows. My mother was a seamstress, so she was real creative. And so we had these big body pillows. Like, don't be sitting on the bed. And don't you sit on the bed when you got your friends, because then they gonna think they should be sitting on the bed. So you be down there on the body pillows too. They weren't called body pillows at the time, but they were big, like big throw pillows. And she would make them, all kind of designs and that kind of stuff. But you don't be, oh my God, don't put no street clothes on. Just throw the whole bed away. If you come and sit on the bed with some street clothes, oh my God. Just take the whole bed out. Just take, not just the covers, just take everything. Just take the whole bed. Take the whole bed. Throw the whole bed out. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that. So with our internal resources, so we got rest, we got our breath, we have, exercise is an internal resource because that's movement that you can actually do without having any external influences with that. You can just move your body. I mean, if you want to just get up and do some jumping jacks, walking in place. And for people who can watch a whole episode of something, I mean, not episode, season, binge watchers, y'all can get a lot of work done. You can get a whole lot of work. You can get a lot of movement in between those episodes. So you don't even have to leave home. You just have to get creative. And a lot of times we just get stuck, trying to figure out what else could I do. It's not just one thing you can do or two things you can do. There's so many things you can do with your body. We got 11 systems. We got 11 systems in our body. Just think about it. You can bonus it with the 12th month. If you pick a system per month, it'll take you through an entire year. And then the 12th month, you can just bonus it, just kind of, do something one day, something another. But if you wanted to take care of all those systems in your body, it's going to take you through an entire year. So think about all those internal resources that you have to help you to move further or to deposit more into your wellness account. I mean, you got your circulatory system. I'm just saying, you got your lymphatic system, you got, your muscular system, you got your skeletal system. There's so many different things that, that we can work on our body. It's a lot of work. And then to try to keep up, with all of that, then we stressed out. Like, oh, I'm trying to drink this water. I'm trying to eat this. What the people be doing? Trying to eat this sea moss. I'm trying to take these spirulina shots. I'm trying to take this ginger. This onion and garlic is choking me. Like, it'd be like so much going on, in terms of us trying to take care of ourselves. But if we pace ourselves, we can do it. Like, we totally can do it. You totally can do it. Just don't overwhelm yourself and don't feel like you got to get everything done right then and there. Unless you have seen your medical professional and there are some things that need to come to the forefront. Of course, take care of those things first. And it's the Dawn Diva. Hey, it's the Dawn Diva. Welcome in. Let us know where you are coming in from. Let us know. Welcome into the Self-Care Suite, where we kick off our shoes, relax our feet, and discuss the many ways to wellness. We exchange useful, sustainable, low cost or no cost self-care strategies, because financial challenges should not stop us. They should not prevent us from investing into our wellness account. Why? Because we got self-care at home. What's up, Vanessa? What's up, UK? I got UK in the building. So yeah, we're gonna come here, and I made this commitment. Sundays at 3. Y'all pray for me, because Sundays are my chill day. But I'm excited. Once it warms up, it was like 50-something degrees. That's still cold to me. Like, I consider warm when I don't need a jacket. But if I don't need a jacket at all when I go out, that's warm to me. So we're talking 70 on up. So yeah, so once we do that, I'm outside. And I had to find out the difference between that when I be saying, like, I'm outside. I ain't admit, like, for the streets. I'm not outside like that. I'm not outside. I mean, like, I'm outside in nature. That's the kind of outside. Like, we used to come in and the adults were like, oh, you smell like outside. That outside. I'm outside, because, when they used to put us outside, you have to be out there all day long. Talking about go play. How many games do y'all want us to play? But we figured it out. We figured out how to play outside all day. Baby, these Gen Zers. I wonder, what? We should probably have some kind of, it should be a game show. You know how, like, Survivor? It should be a game show to see if Gen Z can do what Gen X what Gen X did. Gen Z and Gen X, like, who can stay outside all day? Like, and all you got is some rocks. Because I don't know if y'all played rock teacher, but we played rock teacher. And when people's on punishment, you can't come off the porch, because there were a bunch of, families with sibling groups, and you can't come outside. We're gonna come right in front of your house. You got to stay on the porch because you can't come off the porch, and we're gonna play right there. So whatever. We had all kinds of stuff. Man, we were playing with dirt, like rocks, playing with dirt. We had Red Rover. We had what was it? Four Corners, dodgeball, piggy. I don't know if y'all played piggy. I'm from Chicago South Side, so these are the South Side games. We play all those sorts of things. We got dirt, Chinese rope, double dutch. You can do your single rope. What else? I'm thinking of the things that we had to do that were low cost. I mean, they were, because our ropes, they wasn't fancy and they didn't come in no package. They came from the hardware store, and it was a clothesline. That's how our rope started. So now you got all these fancy ropes with the lights and all that. It was the clothesline at the hardware store, and that was our rope. And that's how we learned. We learned how to jump with a clothesline. And then people, but I know evolution is inevitable for some things, but I say, give me that clothesline. Give me that clothesline, and then we can, go do some things. We can go and do some things. But welcome in. Thank you all so much for joining us for our conversation today in the Self-Care Suite. If you're just getting here, I am Coach Robin Renee. I'm your hostess in the Self-Care Suite, and we meet here Sundays at 3 p.m. to talk about all things self-care, or not all, but many, many things self-care. I am also your mindful movement guide through your Pilates journey, and I am live on the talk, not on the tube, at least not yet, but I'm live on the talk on Mondays and Fridays at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Right now, this is where the Lord is leading me. Right now, we're leaving the beginning of the class open. So if you want to come and just get some breath work, you can come and get breath work. We do a little spinal flexibility work before we get into our Pilates flow. If you want to get into the Pilates flow, you'll hit that right there, that gold star, become a subscriber, and then you just flow on with us in Pilates. But if you just want to come and get some breath work to get your day started, you're welcome. Come on in and breathe with us. And, work on your spine, because we just live in a society where we're sitting for long hours, whether we're in cars or whether we're sitting, in offices, or we're just sitting and we're watching TV or whatever it is. We do so much to compound and compact our spine. We want to be able to allow our spine to move in its most natural state. This is Geraldine. You didn't go to classes to do that. I know how to do it. Is it normal? I'm not sure what you mean. Geraldine, you didn't go to classes to do something. I don't know if you're responding to somebody. So I don't know. Let me know. Is it Geraldine? Let me know what you're referring to, what the it is that you're referring to. If something is normal. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And the self-care audit. So this is the last note that I wrote down from the conversation from Morgan and Vanessa. That self-care audit, just like they said, it wasn't about judging. You're not judging yourself, or you're not judging anybody else, but it was just to give you a ground zero, to give you a starting point of where your self-care is, so that you can move. You're referring to the painting in the back. I thought it was what it was about. Oh, wait. That's my logo. I'm sorry. No, I was talking about breathing. Wait, how am I moving? There you go. I was talking about coming in and breathing with us. So we practice mindful breathing before we start our Pilates flow. So that's what I meant. Mondays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. So we leave, no worries, we leave the beginning of class open. So if you want to just come in and breathe, if you want to come in and just breathe and learn some mindful breathing techniques, you can meet us here. Meet us back here on the top, not on the tube, at least not yet. So you can meet us Mondays and Fridays at 6 a.m. So you can get the breath work, you can get the spinal work, and then we turn it into a sub live to finish with Pilates. So yeah, we're leaving that open. So that's where we are now. We're gonna leave that open for people. So yeah, that's my logo. That's my logo. Melanin Matters. That is my logo. But yeah, we want to invite you all back. So if anybody has any questions, or if you got anything from the podcast or anything from the self-care suite, just let me know, because I can wind this party down. I'm hoping next week. So this is like the unofficial start of summer. I'm hoping next week is warm enough so we can be outside. I feel like the little kid who couldn't go outside. Like you be looking out the window at your friends out there playing because it's chilly. Because I actually do want to go to some of my favorite spaces. I also do gyms in the city. I call it gyms in the city around Chicagoland. I love to show the green spaces that we have in the big city, or at least in the surrounding areas of the city. Some are actually in the city. Some are in the suburbs surrounding the city, because a lot of people think like it's Chicago. So that Chicago doesn't have any green spaces. We have gorgeous green spaces. First of all, our city is gorgeous, but we have gorgeous green spaces. We have the Cook County, the Forest Preserve District of Cook County, 75,000 acres of green and blue spaces. So yeah, we got the goods. We got the goods. And some is right in the city. You step off of a busy street, take a few steps into the woods, and it opens up to a paradise. So I love taking people, into those spaces. Or we have some small nooks and crannies that are a part of the Chicago Park District, which are city parks. So we have some city parks with some really, really nice green and blue spaces. So I like to, take people around for them to see that. So when you come to Chicago, you don't have to just stay downtown at the Chicago River. Now, if you're from Chicago, I don't know if you're from Chicago or you know anything about Chicago, that river, yeah, it be looking nice, but I'm just saying we don't know what's in that river. I'm being honest with you. I'm born and raised in Chicago. I'm just saying we don't know what's in that river. But Chicago is that girl. We know that. We know that. Our city is unmatched. We know that. But baby, that river is questionable. It's questionable. The things that are down in that river is questionable. But seriously, if you do come to Chicago, do the architectural tour. If you really want to know some things about Chicago, that even if you are from Chicago and you've never done the tour, do it. Do it with the tourists. Get on the boat and do the architectural tour. It is so interesting, to see the things that are there and the reasons why they were put there. So that's a really good tour. It's a really good tour to do. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm doing it's like I'm doing spaces that are walkable, because a lot of times people don't know, and there are people in Chicago who don't even know where some of the spaces are that I go to. So the self-care suite gonna be in them streets, but not in them streets like that. Not like that. I remember I told y'all I had to find out that when I be saying I'm outside, I gotta clarify. I mean like outside for real, like outside playing, not outside. And when I say I'm in them streets, I'm not in them streets. I'm just in the streets so I can get you to some green or some blue spaces. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna be doing. So we're gonna be ready. Thank you so much for the popular vote. We're gonna be ready for this summer. So y'all throw up some prayers that next Sunday. See, it's 55. I'm looking at it now. It's 55 degrees now. This is cold to me. So I'm hoping that next Sunday. Let me see what they're talking about. If next Sunday, it's 61. Okay. I can. All right. I might take y'all out with me on Saturday or Friday. Friday 77 and Saturday 72. So I'm hoping Sunday is going to be warm. Thank you so much, Crystal. Thank you so much. I'm going to take y'all outside. We going outside. So we're going to see some green spaces. Just got to figure out the audio because I'm just used to being out by myself. But I think I did pretty good when I took the live to Hammond. And I do Indiana as well. So some of it is in Chicago, in the city of Chicago. On the south side, mostly on the south side. I got a few spaces on the west side that I do go to, and northwest Indiana. So Gary, Indiana, people sleeping on Gary. Don't sleep on Gary, Indiana. I'm just saying, don't sleep on Gary, Indiana. When I show y'all the spaces in Gary, you'll be like, that's Gary, Indiana. Sure is. Home of the famous Jacksons. Of the Jacksons, we're going back to Indiana. So I'm looking forward to taking you all along. And if you know of some spaces or if you heard of some things, just let me know. You can always send me a message if there's like a space or a place that you heard about in Chicago. Not the eateries. I mean, we got good food. It's kind of hard to get bad food in Chicago. I mean, like, because the real food is in the hood. I'm just saying. But because Chicago, we got the good food. So I won't be doing eateries. I mean, like if you want to see. If you heard of a park, or it could be a green space that's a part of, like we have this park called Lakeshore East. A lot of people don't know about it, even people in Chicago. It's in between high rises, so you got to go down. It's like you're going on this secret adventure. So you're going down around, the TJ's, the big store, the grocery store, and then it opens up like, but it's called Lakeshore East Park. So even if you're not in Chicago, or if you're in Chicago, look that up. Look up City of Chicago Lakeshore East Park. And when you see that park, you'll be like, this is in Chicago? It's in between buildings. So you're not going to see it if you're walking down the street. You got to be intentional. You know how when you when you move and somebody said, I was in the neighborhood, and you live on the cul-de-sac, you weren't in the neighborhood. You came over here. You were not walking down my street. But yeah, it's called Lakeshore East Park. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And now, look, I've been in Chicago almost 60 years and just found out about the Chicago Women's Park. So I went in the winter time, and it wasn't like a lot of green spaces. So I'm letting things bud over there, and then I'll go back to that because that was so cute. It was the cutest little park. But we have a park called the Chicago Women's Park, and I've been here. I hadn't heard of it. We have Northerly Island. So yeah, we do have an island in Chicago. It may not be that long, but we got an island right, and it's right in the middle of Lake Michigan, and where you are surrounded by water on both sides. It's pretty cool. We have a pavilion that's there, so some concerts take place over on Northerly Island. So yeah, I'm gonna take y'all all around. I'm gonna take you all around so you can see the city. So if nobody has any questions or any comments, again, like I said, you can send me a message if it's something that you want to see. Like, well, I heard about this and I heard about that. Let me know. And it could be, now, if you say, for instance, if you heard of, let's just say, the Garfield Observatory. So that's one of the places on the west side that I will go to. If you heard of that, it probably won't happen on a Sunday. If I go, it'll be a pop-up because I'm in the city at that time. So I'm actually in the city on the west side Tuesdays, like I'm during the week. So that's when I'm in the city. So the Garfield live would be during the week. And I'm hoping that makes sense. So for the self-care suite, more than likely, those will be, when we're outside, will be south side of Chicago, south suburbs of Chicago, and Indiana. So that's what will be happening on Sundays. But let me know. Just let me know if you heard of the space or if it's a space that you want to see. And yeah. So Crystal, I know you got a long list of places that you want to see when you come to Chicago. But yeah, because I love doing that, because I love finding different spaces that are unique around the city, because I like getting away. I like being in those spaces where if I needed to just, clear out the noise, just clear out the cloudiness, the hustle and bustle. And then I can walk out of that green space or that blue space and then get back into the hustle and bustle of the reality of what is Chicago. Because yeah, we got it. But yeah, I'm gonna wind down, y'all. I'm gonna wind down. But thank you so much for joining, and I hope you got something out of our self-care school. Again, go to myselfcareschool.org if you want to just start catching up until you get to the current date, which would be tomorrow, May 26th. Yeah, May 26th. But don't skip any episodes. Even if you're just listening to them so that you can catch up, don't skip any episodes. Start with week 0 with the orientation and work your way up. So I think this is week 6. Juneteenth is the 10th week. So whatever that is. So Juneteenth is the 10th week. So yeah, this might be week 6. But don't skip any and don't feel bad. Don't feel bad if you're just starting. Because we want to have you to get all of this goodness that we got going on. Come back here next Sunday. Unless you see it posted that it'll be a different time, but Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Self-Care Suite. And then Mondays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time for Pilates. And on that note, y'all, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to take it light. So I'll give you like a minute, 30 seconds if anybody has anything. If you want to share or if you want to say anything. And if not, we out of here. We out of here for the self-care suite because I'm chilling. They say it's 61 degrees. I might just go stand outside and give me some sun. Because now when I walked in earlier, it had just finished raining, so it was still cloudy. It was still cloudy, so I may go out and catch me a couple of sun rays. Maybe so. All right, y'all. Y'all be easy. Be easy. Take it light. Go out and be greater than you were an hour and a half ago. And I'll see y'all in the morning. Some of y'all in the morning and some next Sunday. Peace. Are we gone? Nope, we're still here. Tubers, are we gone? We're still here.